Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we really dig into the big ideas from the main metabolic revolution episodes. Get under the hood a bit.
Yeah, pull apart the concepts that maybe only get touched on briefly in the main show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today, oh boy, we're tackling a big one. Something that's probably, well, fundamental to how most of us think about health, exercise.
Mm-hmm. A real sacred cow.
Totally. But what if?
Mm-hmm.
What if the way we exercise, the principles we follow, are actually, for a lot of people, undermining their metabolism?
It's a huge claim. Kind of flies in the face of everything we're told, right?
It really does.
Yeah.
And honestly, understanding this shift might be some of the most crucial info you ever hear about fitness, about real deep health.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to unpack this really paradigm-shifting view on movement, all grounded in that bioenergetic framework we explored.
Get back a core.
Yeah, figure out what it means for you, like in your everyday life, why it matters. Okay, so let's get into it.
All right. What's so fascinating, I think, is just how fundamental this challenge is. Because, from the bioenergetic angle, it always comes back to the cell.
Right, energy production.
How your cells actually make and use energy, and maybe even more importantly, how your body deals with stress. Because stress is key here.
So it's not like, don't move, sit on the couch all day.
No, not at all. Movement is absolutely vital, essential. But this is about redefining what healthy movement really is.
Okay.
It's about shifting away from that mindset of, pushing harder, punishing your body.
The no pain, no gain thing.
Exactly that. And moving towards supporting your body, enhancing its energy capacity naturally. The whole idea is to work with your body's innate wisdom, not constantly fight against its basic survival programming.
Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off then.
Yeah.
Because the message from the main episode, the one that kicked this whole deep dive off, it's pretty confronting.
Yeah, it doesn't pull punches.
It was basically stop exercising. Or hang on, stop exercising the way you've been taught.
And you can just feel the resistance to that, can't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can practically hear people shouting at their speakers.
Yeah.
What? Stop exercising. That's crazy. It's good for you.
It's deeply ingrained. We hear it constantly. Media, doctors, fitness gurus. Exercise is the answer. Always more is better.
Since we were kids, right? Gym class, sports.
Yep. And that conditioning, that's exactly what we need to examine closely today, because that statement, stop exercising, it's not really about becoming sedentary.
It's a prompt.
It's a prompt. It's meant to make you stop, think, question, to open up to the nuance, because that's what's missing.
The nuance between like just moving naturally and this thing we call exercise.
Precisely. It's about understanding that difference.
Yeah.
Movement that builds metabolic health versus exercise that for way too many people actually becomes a metabolic poison, a stressor they can't recover from.
Yeah. It is shocking when you first hear it. And, it's unsettling even for people in the health field, right? People who've maybe been giving that standard advice for years.
Absolutely. I mean, our own lead doctor here, Dr. Prasuti, he's talked very openly about this from his time as a surgeon.
Oh, right. He mentioned that.
Yeah, a really raw confession. He said he used to routinely tell patients, exhausted patients, oh, you just need to exercise more. He'd prescribe long cardio sessions for people clearly struggling, depressed.
Wow.
And he'd be congratulating folks on their hardcore 5 a.m. CrossFit habit, even while seeing clear signs their systems were totally fried.
Like low body temp.
Exactly. Consistently low body temperatures, sometimes down in the 96s, and just a whole host of symptoms showing they were depleted. He realized, looking back through the bioenergetic lens, that he was essentially prescribing metabolic destruction without understanding that nuance.
That's heavy, and it makes it real, not just theory.
It's very real. Think about a case like, let's call her Rachel. Okay, 38 years old, look like the picture of health on the outside.
Okay, yeah.
Marathon runner, yoga instructor, clocking like 50 miles a week running.
Wow, that's serious mileage.
Super serious. But she comes in suffering from amenorrhea. Her period had completely stopped. Insomnia. And the real kicker for her, she was gaining weight despite all that training.
Gaining weight, running 50 miles a week.
Yep. Said she felt like she was aging in dog years. Just felt terrible.
So what did her labs show?
Alarming stuff. Cortisol through the roof, constantly high. Thyroid function, severely suppressed. Testosterone, basically undetectable, and her basal body temp, that key metabolic marker, 95.8 degrees.
95.8.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredibly low. Basically shutting down.
Essentially, yeah. She was running herself into the ground, literally, and when the advice was to drastically cut back the running...
He must have freaked out.
Total disbelief. But exercise is healthy. It's the only thing keeping me sane. That's what she said.
Wow.
And it just throws that uncomfortable question right in your face, doesn't it? How did we get here? How did we get things so wrong that a whole generation of, maybe exercise addicts are damaging themselves thinking they're doing the right thing, thinking more stress is the solution?
Yeah, that disconnect is huge.
Yeah.
And Rachel's story just drives it home, that critical difference between, like, natural everyday movement.
Yeah.
Our bodies are designed for that.
Absolutely. Purposeful motion.
But then there's this modern exercise, the stuff the fitness industry pushes, which, as we're seeing through this bioenergetic lens, often becomes this stress bomb.
Yeah, a relentless stress bomb is a good way to put it.
And it's actively harming people. You're saying it can destroy metabolism, mess with the thyroid.
Suppress thyroid function, yeah. Deplete critical hormones, even accelerate aging at the cellular level.
Okay, so think about Rachel again. Or think about yourself, listening. Have you ever felt like that?
Yeah.
Pushing harder, adding miles, doing more reps, trying to burn off stress or fat.
Only to feel more exhausted.
Yeah. More tired, maybe gaining weight unexpectedly, can't sleep, just feeling generally unwell. That relentless drive for more intensity, more volume, it can backfire spectacularly, leaving you hormonally wrecked and metabolically worse off than when you started.
And to really get why that happens, we need to zoom in on the stress science, what's going on inside at the cellular level.
Okay.
So when you do intense or prolonged exercise, and intense really means anything that jacks up your heart rate significantly and puts your body under strain for a while.
Like a hard run or CrossFit, or even a really long hike sometimes.
Could be, yeah. Your body basically perceives that as an emergency. It doesn't know you're just trying to get fit. It thinks you're running from a tiger or starving.
The old fight or flight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Primal, hardwired stuff. And that triggers this whole hormonal cascade. Hypothalamus signals the pituitary signals the adrenals.
Boom. Cortisol.
A flood of cortisol, yeah.
Yeah.
And adrenaline, too. Now, short term, that mobilizes energy, gives you that buzz, that focus during the workout.
The runner's high, maybe?
Could be part of it. But here's where it gets, well, really interesting and concerning. At the cellular level, that cortisol starts a process called gluconeogenesis.
Gluconeogenesis. New glucose creation.
Right. Your liver starts frantically converting protein into glucose for quick fuel. But not just any protein.
Right.
It starts breaking down protein from your own body, cannibalizing your muscles, your organs, even your thymus gland, which is crucial for your immune system.
Wait, it eats your immune system?
It breaks down tissue from the thymus gland for fuel. You are literally sacrificing your structure for emergency energy. It's a famine response.
That's wild.
And at the same time, cortisol directly messes with your thyroid. It blocks the conversion of inactive T4 hormone into the active T3 form your body needs.
So less active thyroid hormone.
Less active T3, and it ramps up production of something called reverse T3.
Reverse T3.
Think of it like slamming the brakes on your metabolism. So within hours, sometimes even minutes, of an intense workout, your resting metabolic rate starts to drop.
It slows down. But exercise is supposed to boost metabolism.
That's the common belief. But the reality under this kind of stress is that the body thinks it's in crisis, it conserves energy, it dials down the luxuries.
What?
Reproduction, tissue repair, regeneration, even optimal brain function. Those get put on the back burner because survival is suddenly priority number one. It's rational for an emergency, but terrible if it's chronic.
Okay, so that's the internal cellular picture. What about the external proof, the studies? Does the research actually show this happening? Because you don't hear about this much.
You really don't, but when you look for it, yeah, the findings are stark, and they confirm this. There was one really eye-opening study on female athletes.
Okay.
Training more than 5 hours a week. Pretty standard for dedicated athletes, right?
Sure.
They found significantly suppressed active T3 thyroid hormone, chronically high cortisol, and disrupted menstrual cycles. Pretty much what we just described.
Right, fits the pattern.
But here's the absolute shocker. Their resting metabolic rate, the calories they burned just existing, was 15 to 20% lower than women who are completely sedentary.
Lower than sedentary women. Hold on.
Yeah.
They're training hours a week and burning fewer calories at rest.
Exactly. Let that sink in. It just demolishes the whole exercise more to burn more calories idea, doesn't it?
Completely. Wow. What about men?
Similar story, sadly. Chronic endurance training in men is linked to lower testosterone, high cortisol, suppressed thyroid, and markers of accelerated cellular aging, like literally aging faster.
This is bleak.
It gets bleaker. Studies show marathon runners can have just as much, sometimes more, cardiovascular plaque buildup as sedentary people.
More plaque. But they're running marathons.
Yep. And ultra-endurance athletes, the ones we put on pedestals, they often show signs of myocardial scarring, damage to the heart muscle itself.
They're damaging their hearts.
When the stress consistently outweighs the body's ability to recover, yes. It's a harsh reality. People are literally exercising themselves into metabolic decline, or worse, actual physical damage.
And you have to ask,
Yeah.
why isn't this front page news?
Well, think about the fitness industry. Billions and billions of dollars. Is there maybe a strong financial incentive to keep this kind of research, shall we say, less visible?
Yeah, that makes a cynical kind of sense.
And it's so insidious because that metabolic suppression, the kind triggered by this chronic underfueled exercise, it creates this horrible, vicious cycle.
So?
You push yourself hard, thinking it's healthy, but you suppress your metabolism. That leads to feeling tired, maybe gaining weight, feeling generally lousy.
Right.
So what do? You think, I need to exercise even harder, more intensity, more time.
Yeah.
That's the answer, right?
Yeah, that's the default thinking.
But every time you do that, you just dig the metabolic hole deeper, more suppression, until you end up in that crazy situation.
Like the person eating almost nothing, running miles, and still gaining weight?
Exactly that person. Eating 1,000 calories, running 10 miles a day, and the scale won't budge or even goes up. It makes no sense according to calories in, calories out.
But it makes perfect sense with this model.
Perfect sense. It's a direct result of exercise-induced metabolic damage. We call it exercise-induced hypothyroidism. And honestly, it's an epidemic, especially among people trying so hard to be healthy. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, you see how easily people get trapped, doing the very thing that's harming them, thinking it's helping, driving themselves deeper into that chronic stress state.
Okay, let's really break down what happens during a workout then.
Yeah.
A typical one, maybe where you're pushing it a bit.
Right. So first 20 minutes or so, maybe longer if you're well-fueled, your body uses stored glycogen, sugar stored in muscles and liver.
Okay, that's normal fuel.
Totally fine if those stores are full. But here's the catch. A lot of people doing intense exercise are also restricting carbs, right? Trying to lose weight, get lean, following keto or low carb.
Or just not eating enough to match the output.
Exactly. So those glycogen stores deplete really fast, prematurely.
So what happens after 20 minutes when the easy fuel runs out? Does it just switch to burning fat nicely?
Oh, if only that's the myth. No, what happens is survival mode kicks in hard. The body panics about maintaining blood sugar.
Stress hormones again.
Massive dump of stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol. The goal is to make fuel now. So the liver goes into overdrive with that gluconeogenesis.
Breaking down protein from muscles and organs.
Cannibalizing your own body, yes. And at the same time, free fatty acids flood the bloodstream. Now, if these are the unstable PUFAs, the polyunsaturated fats we've talked about before.
Vegetable oils and so on.
Yeah. They can actually interfere with healthy glucose metabolism and create a ton of oxidative stress, like internal rust.
Yikes.
Plus, you get that lactic acid buildup, creates an acidic environment in the cells, which further slows down your metabolism. It's just a cascade away from metabolic health. Okay,
so that explains why you feel wrecked. But what about the afterburn, EPOC? Everyone talks about that benefit, burning calories for hours after.
Yes, EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. It's touted as this amazing bonus, but let's reframe it through the bioenergetic lens.
Okay.
That elevated metabolic rate after a hard workout, it's not really a benefit in the way we think. It's your body in frantic recovery mode.
Trying to clean up the mess.
Exactly. It represents ongoing inflammation, still elevated stress hormones. Your system desperately trying to repair the damage and stress you just inflicted. It's a sign of metabolic disruption, not a metabolic boost.
Whoa. So the feeling we think is good, being exhausted, heart rate staying up, might actually be a warning sign.
It very well could be. It raises that question, doesn't it? Are we interpreting our body's signals correctly? Maybe that feeling of being utterly wiped out isn't success. Maybe it's a sign we went way too far, pushed the system into distress.
Man, this really does flip everything upside down.
No.
Okay, so if modern exercise is potentially so damaging, what did people do historically? What can we learn from, like, traditional cultures?
That's a fantastic question, because when you look at traditional societies, the ones known for health and longevity, you just don't find them exercising like we do.
No gyms, no 10K runs.
Nope. They moved a lot. It was woven into their lives. They walked, danced, carried things, farmed, gathered, played. Constant natural movement.
But not structured workouts.
Not structured workouts designed to push to exhaustion. You don't find records of them deliberately grinding themselves into dust every day for fitness.
Any specific examples?
Sure, think about the Hadza in Tanzania. Hunter-gatherers, often studied for their health, they move maybe 6 to 8 miles a day.
That's a fair bit.
It is, but it's mostly walking, not running. And crucially, it's broken up. Lots of rest, sitting, talking. It's not continuous, intense effort.
Interesting. What about blue zones, the long-lived populations?
Same pattern. Gentle, consistent movement integrated into daily life. Gardening, walking to the market, chores, socializing. Never intense or depleting. It's just part of being alive.
So, what does that tell us? Stuck in our modern lives where movement is often optional, something we have to schedule in.
It tells us the type and intensity of movement matters immensely, and it leads us right back to the bioenergetic thinkers like Dr. Ray Peat.
Okay, what did Pete say about this?
He put it very clearly. He said, essentially, exercise is a stress, and like any stress, a little bit can be good, but too much, or when you're already stressed, it becomes harmful. He always talked about metabolically supportive movement.
Movement that builds energy doesn't drain it.
Exactly. And this ties into the work of Selye, the pioneer of stress research, his General Adaptation Syndrome, GAS.
Alarm, resistance, exhaustion. Learned that in school.
Right. Any stressor, exercise, work stress, bad food triggers this. Alarm, then resistance, trying to cope. Then, if it keeps going, exhaustion, breakdown. Exercise is just another stressor in that model.
So the benefits of exercise aren't because of the stress.
This is the mind blower. The benefits come despite the stress, not because of it. Let that sink in.
Whoa.
We're sold this stress makes you stronger, no pain, no gain idea. But what if that's totally backwards? What if pushing through pain when you're already depleted is just fast-tracking you to exhaustion?
Okay, explain that more. Stress with resources versus without.
Yes. If your cells are humming along, making tons of energy, ATP, high metabolism, well-fed, well-rested, your body has the resources to handle a stressor like exercise. It can adapt positively. That's hormesis, small stress, big strength gain.
Makes sense.
But if you're already running on empty, low temp, stressed out, poor sleep, underfueled, that same workout isn't hormetic, it's just more breakdown. It pushes you deeper into exhaustion because you lack the resources to recover and adapt.
So we've got the cart before the horse, trying to force energy creation through exercise when we don't have the baseline energy.
Exactly. Movement should ideally flow from energy abundance, not be a desperate attempt to create energy you lack. Pete said the metabolic rate is fundamental. A high metabolic rate protects you, makes you resilient to stress. A low one makes every stressor, including exercise, potentially damaging.
So hormesis only works if you can actually recover.
Precisely. You need the energy reserves to rebuild what was broken down. Otherwise, it's not adaptation, it's just accelerated aging. Metabolic suicide, essentially, if it's chronic and unsupported.
Yeah, this is huge. So if we ditch the old model, what are the principles for movement that actually supports metabolism? What does that look like practically?
Principle number 1, and this is non-negotiable, fueled movement.
No more fasted workouts.
Absolutely no more fasted workouts. That might sound radical, but bioenergetically, you need adequate glycogen-stored energy before you start.
Like what? What kind of fuel?
Simple stuff. A piece of fruit, orange, banana, maybe 20-30 minutes beforehand. Easy energy. And during activity, if it's more than just a walk, maybe sip on some orange juice with a pinch of salt.
A homemade sports drink.
Basically, provides instant fuel, stops the body from cannibalizing itself. It's completely different from slamming a stimulant-heavy pre-workout. It's about proactive support, not forcing performance through stress.
Got it. Fuel first. What's principle 2?
Keep it brief. Structured workouts need to be short.
How short?
For strength work, think 15-20 minutes of actual working sets. Total time in the gym, including warm-up and rest, maybe 20-30 minutes max.
That sounds really short compared to what people usually do.
It is. But study shows strength sessions over 45 minutes reliably push cortisol into that problematic catabolic breakdown zone. We want stimulation, not annihilation. Brief is the sweet spot for metabolic benefit without excessive stress. Allows for challenge, then quick recovery.
Okay, brief. Which leads nicely into principle 3, I imagine.
Recovery. Which means workouts need to be infrequent.
Not every day.
Definitely not every day. That more is better, 6 or 7 days a week mentality. Metabolically damaging. Your body needs 48 to 72 hours, 2 or 3 full days to truly recover from significant stress, including a decent workout.
Like picking at a wound.
Exactly. Training daily is like picking at a scab and wondering why it's not healing. Adaptation, strength gains, metabolic improvements, they all happen during rest, not during the workout. Give your body the time to rebuild and replenish. That's where the magic happens.
Fuel, brief, infrequent. Makes sense. What's number 4?
Prioritize strength over endurance, especially for a structured workout.
Weights over cardio. Why?
Different hormonal response. Brief, intense muscle contractions, like lifting weights, correctly trigger a beneficial release of growth hormone and testosterone. Anabolic hormones, the builders. Without that prolonged cortisol bath you get from long cardio.
And muscle is metabolically active, right? Burns calories at rest.
Hugely important. Strength training helps build or maintain that metabolically active muscle. Sustained cardio, especially when you're low on fuel. It preferentially burns muscle for energy. So, a few good sets, done right, infrequently, are far better for your metabolic engine than hours on the treadmill. Build the engine, don't dismantle it.
Wow. Okay, let's make this concrete. You mentioned Tom's story before, the CrossFit guy. Can you walk us through that again with these principles in mind?
Yeah, Tom's a perfect example. Classic CrossFit enthusiast, 6 days a week, sometimes twice a day, strict paleo diet. Thought he was peak health.
Felt terrible.
Terrible. Exhausted, irritable, zero libido, body comp stuck despite the effort. Looked fit, but was metabolically collapsing.
And his numbers showed it. Low temp, low T.
Yep. Morning temp, 96.2. Testosterone at 200 ng Dale, like an old man's. Suppressed thyroid. Textbook exercise-induced burnout.
So the intervention, based on these principles.
Drastically simple. Cut exercise to just twice a week. 30 minutes basic strength training. That's it.
Wow. From 6 days a week plus.
Huge change. And we flooded him with carbs, added like 400 grams a day. White rice, fruit, easy stuff. Plus told him to use salt generously. Support the adrenals.
Okay. Result. How long did it take?
6 weeks. Just 6 weeks. His morning temp shot up to 98.4, a healthy humming metabolism, testosterone, over 600 ng-DL, normal, healthy levels.
And the weight.
Lost 15 pounds. While eating way more food. And, let's just say his wife sent a very enthusiastic thank you note. Things improved on the home front significantly.
Okay. That's incredible. And it wasn't about pushing harder?
Not at all. It was about stopping the damage, working smarter, supporting energy production instead of forcing it. It perfectly illustrates the bioenergetic approach we teach. Less destructive stress, more fuel and recovery. Powerful stuff.
It really is. Okay, so let's break down some specific types of exercise then through this lens. Steady state cardio jogging, long bike rides.
From this perspective, probably the worst offender for metabolic health.
Ouch. Why so bad?
It's prolonged stress without enough adaptive stimulus. It just grinds you down, depletes glycogen, spikes cortisol for hours, eats muscle, especially if you're underfueled. It's basically training your body to be more efficient at storing energy as fat because it thinks famine is coming.
Okay, steady state gets a thumbs down. What about HIIT? High intensity interval training. Better.
Better in that it's briefer, but still very problematic if overdone. Those intense bursts. Massive cortisol spike, your body perceives it as an extreme threat.
So not good for daily use.
Definitely not. Maybe once a week if you're well-fueled, well-rested, fully recovered. But doing HIIT multiple times a week, that's a fast track to burnout for most people. Powerful tool, but easily misused, can be very destructive.
Got it. Yoga. People think of yoga as relaxing.
Depends entirely on the type. General restorative yoga. Fantastic. Slow movement, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic rest and digest system. Lowers cortisol, very supportive.
But not all yoga is like that.
No. Intense vinyasa flows, power yoga, and especially hot yoga. That's basically cardio in disguise. And with hot yoga, you add significant heat stress on top, more stress hormones, electrolyte depletion. It becomes another metabolic burden. You gotta ask, is it calming you down or stressing you out more?
Context matters. Okay, weight training. You said prioritize strength.
Yes, can be very supportive, but again, how you do it is crucial. Brief sets, lots of rest between sets. Stimulation, not annihilation.
Minimum effective dose.
Exactly. Enough to signal growth, not enough to cause excessive breakdown and stress. Focus on quality, stop before exhaustion. Leave feeling energized, not drained. Build capacity, don't just break it down.
Okay. And finally, walking.
Walking. The king, undisputed champion of metabolically supportive movement.
Really? Just walking.
Simple, gentle walking. Especially after meals. It's incredible. Improves insulin sensitivity without stress, aids digestion, supports circulation, lowers cortisol. It's a natural stress reliever.
Like our ancestors did.
Just like them. Moderate pace, can hold a conversation. We recommend 20-30 minutes daily, ideally after meals. Outside, if possible, get that light exposure, maybe some grounding. Effortless medicine, truly.
Okay, so let's pull it all together. The actual prescription for metabolically supportive movement.
Yeah.
What should people do?
It's refreshingly simple, almost anticlimactic compared to typical fitness plans.
Less is more.
Definitely. Daily. Walk 20-30 minutes comfortably, ideally after meals, outside if you can, non-negotiable.
Okay.
Twice a week. Brief strength training, 20-30 minutes total. Focus on big movements, squats, push-ups, rows, presses, 2-3 sets, maybe 8-10 reps. Challenging, but leave feeling good, energized.
Twice a week strength. Got it.
Anything else?
Optionally, once a week, do something purely for fun. Playful movement, dance, swim, play a sport, hike with friends. Something that feels like joy, not a chore.
Restorative.
And that's it.
That's it. That's really all you need for optimal health from an exercise perspective. Anything more is probably counterproductive for most people who aren't pro athletes with full support teams. Less truly is more for metabolic vitality.
Wow. Okay, but people will have objections. I can hear them now. What about my heart health, my cardio fitness?
Totally valid question. Yes, the heart's a muscle, but brief, intense contractions, like in proper weightlifting, strengthen it very effectively without the oxidative stress and cortisol load of long cardio. Powerful short bursts plus rest equals strong heart.
And the walking helps circulation.
Absolutely. Walking provides fantastic circulation benefits, keeps blood flowing, supports the whole system without the cortisol bomb. So what's real heart health? Pushing to exhaustion or building a resilient system that works efficiently.
Good point. Okay, next objection. But I need to burn calories for weight loss.
The calorie myth, probably the biggest one out there.
You can't out-exercise a broken metabolism.
You absolutely cannot. The calories burned during exercise are tiny compared to your resting metabolic rate, what you burn just staying alive 24/7.
So trying to burn more through exercise is missing the point.
Completely. If your metabolism is slow, like Rachel's or Tom's was, you're burning fewer calories all the time, sleeping, sitting, everything. The solution isn't more burning through stressful exercise. It's fixing the underlying metabolism, nutrition, sleep, thyroid support. Get your metabolic furnace burning hot, and you'll burn way more calories effortlessly, even while you sleep.
Optimize the engine. Don't just floor the pedal on a sputtering one.
Perfect analogy.
Okay, last one. Endorphins. The runner's high. People love that feeling.
Yeah, they do. And yes, intense exercise can release them. They feel good temporarily. But guess what else releases endorphins?
Right.
Eating amazing, delicious food, having great sex, playing joyfully with your kids, laughing uncontrollably with friends, genuine connection, sunshine, music.
Okay, point taken. Lots of ways to feel good.
Exactly. You don't need to brutalize yourself metabolically just to get that one specific neurochemical hit. Find joy and well-being in sustainable, supportive ways, not through depleting stress.
It's so sad, though, isn't it? That movement, which should be good for us, has been twisted into this, like you said, socially acceptable self-harm.
It is tragic. You see it everywhere. People wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor, bragging about 5 a.m. workouts while chugging coffee all day just to cope, aging way too fast but thinking they're healthy.
And if you're listening and that sounds like you, it's not your fault.
Absolutely not. You've been fed misinformation, sometimes outright lies, by a massive industry that profits from keeping you depleted and chasing the next fix. Gyms, trackers, supplements, so much of it thrives on that cycle.
But there's hope. Understanding this gives you the power to get off that hamster wheel.
And that hope really hinges on understanding the power of recovery. This is the missing piece for almost everyone.
Adaptation happens during recovery.
Yes, not during the workout stress. Getting stronger, fitter, healthier happens when you rest and rebuild. If you're constantly training, constantly stressed, you never adapt properly.
Like the elite athletes who prioritize recovery.
Exactly. They have teams for massage, nutrition, sleep. For every hour of training, they have hours of dedicated recovery. But the average person tries to train like a pro while living a stressed, underfueled, sleep-deprived life. It's a recipe for disaster.
So what does proper recovery look like for us mortals?
Adequate fuel, especially carbs, to refill glycogen. Quality sleep, 8+ hours. Cool, dark room. Managing life stress, it all adds up. Proper hydration with minerals like we talked about with salt.
And for people who do train intensely, athletes, serious hobbyists,
they have to be meticulous. Never train fasted. Carbs before, maybe during. Big recovery meal immediately after. Serious rest days. And monitor those key signs. Morning temp and pulse. If they drop consistently, you're overdoing it. Back off, rest, refuel, non-negotiable.
It really shifts the focus from the workout itself to the entire 24-hour cycle.
Complete.
Okay, one last thing. What about all those studies showing exercise benefits? People will point to those.
Right. And here's the, let's call it the dirty little secret of a lot of that research. They usually compare exercisers to people who are completely sedentary, often eating a terrible standard American diet.
So anything beats literally nothing plus a bad diet.
Exactly. Of course, some movement looks better than zero movement plus junk food, but that doesn't mean the type or amount of exercise in the study is optimal.
So they don't often compare intense exercise to moderate supported movement.
Rarely in the mainstream headlines. But when researchers do make those nuanced comparisons, guess what? Moderate supported movement consistently leads to better long-term outcomes. Better hormones, better longevity, better quality of life.
But that's not sexy.
Doesn't sell magazines or gym memberships. Take Pleasant Walks isn't a compelling documentary title.
True.
But this bioenergetic view, it's revolutionary because it's simple and it aligns with our physiology, countering decades of potentially harmful advice.
So the takeaway is, try it. See for yourself.
Absolutely. Don't just believe us. Experiment. Support your metabolism first. Move in ways that feel good, that energize you. Stop before you're exhausted. Fuel it properly. Prioritize recovery. Listen to your body's signals, not just your fitness tracker. The science, viewed this way, is solid. You'll likely feel so much better.
It's about reclaiming your energy, really.
Precisely. Movement is medicine, yes, but the dose makes the poison. You don't need to earn your food or punish your body. Support your metabolism, move joyfully, enhance your life, don't deplete it. Your body isn't lazy, it's wise. It's sending signals. Maybe it's finally time to listen.
Instead of fighting it.
Instead of fighting it. The fitness industry wants you exhausted and dependent. We want you energized, resilient, free, living that metabolic revolution.
Fantastic. Okay, speaking of challenging conventional wisdom, next week on the main Metabolic Revolution episode, we're diving into another huge one, fasting and meal timing.
Oh yeah, intermittent fasting. Another sacred cow.
Totally. What if I told you that EFEF might actually be harmful for your metabolism, especially if it's already struggling, and that maybe, just maybe, eating more frequently could help you lose weight and balance hormones?
Minds will be blown. Again.
Exactly. Get ready to question everything about when you eat, just like we questioned how to move today. And remember, that's what the deep dive is, for exploring these ideas fully, giving you the depth to really understand and apply them.
Empowering you with the nuance.
Right. So, until next time, maybe mull this over. How will you redefine your relationship with movement starting today?